Let's get some price picks in today, guys. I have an important announcement for you guys to get a free $500. But before I get into that, I'm going to recap the picks. Bones and Fly on the Valorant stack both went under, so we cashed those props. Unfortunately, Panarin did not cash with Fox. A bit unlucky that they scored 5 goals, and they did not share a point on any of those goals. Then Jokic and Gordon, these guys both went under. See how this stack worked. If Jokic is getting 0 assists in a quarter, you could imagine Gordon is probably not getting any points. And if you go over to how Denver actually did in that first quarter, they scored a whopping 14 points. They scored 70 points in the whole game. When a team is not able to score a bucket, you're going to see both of them go under. And if they had a very good game where they're scoring like 30, 40 points in that first quarter, both these guys would have cast in the same direction. Unfortunately, we were on the wrong end of Denver last night. No one expected them to lose by 45 points. We'll get onto the board, but first, as I said, I do have an announcement. Sleeper Fantasy just notified me that this $500 deposit match is ending this Sunday. So if you are not on Sleeper already and have never made a deposit, please take advantage of this $500 because it's going to go down to $100. Sleeper Fantasy is the only fantasy site that still has a $500 deposit match. If you guys can't afford it and do have $500 laying around, please take this free money and deposit with code OddsJuice. I'm going to even get you in my Discord for my Sleeper Fantasy picks for a full month. So with that deposit match, of course, you're going to have to churn through it. You can't just take the $500 and leave. You have to bet $1,000 worth of bets. But since you're going to be in my sleeper group for 1 month, I'm going to send enough picks for you guys to churn through that $1,000 very easily. And you're going to leave the app with more than $1,000 in your bank. So you're putting $500 in, you're getting that $500 deposit match, and you're going to leave with over 1K. Of course, you're going to make over $500 tailing the picks. So that is literally the freest $500 you'll ever make over a 1 month span. So please take advantage of this. So obviously, I do get affiliate commission if you guys do sign up using my code. But I'm telling this to like everyone I know. Tell your friends, tell your family. I've already told my friends and families. I'm not pushing the $500 match because I get more commission. No matter what you guys deposit, I get a commission. So don't think I want you guys to deposit so much because I'm getting a higher commission or something like that. I just like helping the people, and a lot of people talk about bankroll building. This is the best way to build your bankroll, is literally to take free money. So once you get this money, after a month, you're going to be up a nice $500-$600. And then you can take that money over to Prizepicks and start telling my 6-mans over in the Discord where we've made tons and tons of money. I've showed it in multiple videos. But anyways, I have the spreadsheet here. If you guys want to check it in the description, you guys know how I do on Prizepicks. Anyways, so sign up for Sleeper, get the deposit match, then DM me on Instagram at OddsJuice, or DM me on Discord, or email me. My email is in the description of this video. Or just comment on the video. Do anything you can to get in touch with me, and I'll get you into the sleeper group for free for 1 month so you can tell the picks and churn that $500 and really make a profit. So pause this video, sign up to sleeper, and then come and tail this 6-man that I have for you guys. But first, I just want to talk about Wnba lean. She's not going to be in any of the slips, but Ezzy on the 30.5 fantasy score, I was checking her. She did hit it in the last game, but I was looking at RotoWire, who does kind of have projections for these players. And if we type in Ezzy on Wnba Optimizer, you're going to see she's actually only projected 24.65 fantasy points. Now, of course, I don't know how accurate RotoWire is, especially for something like Wnba that is extremely niche sport. No one's really betting on this too much, so there's not as much data. But that is a big discrepancy, at least according to Prizepicks, 24.65. I'm not going to be throwing her into the YouTube slips, but I do have her in a slip I did send to the Discord. So that's just a shout if you guys are interested in that. Under 30.5 fantasy score on Ezzy. Now moving on to the actual slips, let's start with the 6-man. So the first 2 picks I'm going for in the NBA are going to be Naismith on his over half a steal, and we taking someone from the other team, of course, the Knicks, on their over turnover. So in this case, it's going to be Precious on his over half a turnover. It doesn't necessarily mean that Naismith is gonna steal from Precious, but the more the Knicks are turning over the ball, of course, the higher probability is that Naismith does get that steal. I could show you on something like Bet365. If we go over to this Pacers game and scroll all the way down to steals, I could take Naismith here on the over half a steal. And if I go over to turnovers now and grab Precious on his over half a turnover, you're gonna see I get a plus 230 payout. Now, if I would swap this and take Naismith on his over steals and Precious on his under turnovers, I'm getting a plus 260 payout. So plus 260 is a higher payout than plus 230, which means it's less likely to happen than if I were to go over. So of course, when you're grabbing over steals on one player, you want to be grabbing over turnovers on the other team, hoping that he steals from that player. It doesn't necessarily mean it will happen, but there's a higher probability. But there is a higher probability that it does happen. So make sure you're stacking players like that. And it's good to see that Precious does have juice towards the over at minus 120 on this specific turnover prop. Not much to get into there for that combo, but we're going over to the MLB and grab a quad stack from the same team. This one gets interesting. We're going to go to Cleveland, and we're going to grab 4 players. So 3 hitters and the actual pitcher. So the first player is going to be Florial on his over half a total base. And I'm going to be stacking this up with some other guys on their over half a total base. The second one is going to be Bo Naylor, and the third one is going to be Manzardo. So hopefully these guys do all play. There could be some DNPs, but they're all in the expected lineup here. So you're going to see Bo Naylor expected to bat 8th. We got Florial expected to bat 7th, and then Manzardo expected to bat 6th. So that's great. They're all in order. It doesn't really matter in this case because they're not grabbing hits, runs, RBIs, props. But especially when I'm grabbing guys on half a total base that are kind of near the end of the lineup, I want Cleveland as a whole to be doing well. Because if Cleveland's doing well, so the guys in the front of the lineup, well, that's going to give more opportunities for at-bats for the guys at the end of the lineup. So it could be that these guys all get an extra at bat if the whole team is doing well. So that's why it's very correlated if all these guys are getting half a total base, because it means that they probably got an extra at bat, and that's going to be an extra 15-20% chance that they get another hit if they haven't already throughout the game. So if Florio gets a base, the higher the chance that Bonele gets a base, and the higher the chance that Bonele gets a base, the higher the chance that Manzardo gets a base. And if Cleveland as a whole is doing well, hopefully they are outscoring the opponent team, and that is where I'm grabbing Tristan McKenzie on his over 26 pitcher fantasy score. And why does it matter if the hitters are doing well for the actual pitcher? Well, because if you go to scoring chart, something very important for pitchers fantasy score is the win and the quality start. So both of these are actually relying on Cleveland doing well. Obviously, earned run, strikeout, and outs is strictly pitcher dependent, but quality start and win is important. So if Cleveland is doing well and these guys are getting at-bats, they're getting bases, then they're probably getting runs, they're probably in the lead, which means McKenzie is more likely to get that quality start or that win or both, right? So that's going to boost his fantasy score up by 10, and then all he has to do is have a pretty decent game, hopefully not letting in too many runs. And again, if he's not letting in too many runs, it means Cleveland is likely winning. So it's all correlated in the sense that Cleveland is going to have a super good game versus Minnesota tonight. Now, there's nothing specifically telling me that Cleveland's going to have a great game, but if they do, then we're cashing 4 props. So I'm not necessarily saying Cleveland will have a good game. I'm just saying if they do, we might as well have 4 props from the same team. And also for Tristan, I like to look at this optimizer on RotoWire, and if we go and check Tristan McKenzie, he's projected at 27.25 fantasy points. So we're getting about 1.25 fantasy points in value, at least compared to that optimizer. So this is the full 6-man slip, and I'm going to be building another 4-man here right away. So back to the NBA, I'm going to go with my first pick on Pascal Siakam on the over 21.5 points. And I'm stacking this up with TJ McConnell on his under 10.5 points. Let's take a look at the juice on both of these players. Pascal Siakam with juice towards the over at -125 here. And then we have TJ McConnell with juice towards the under at -125. So they're already going in the opposite direction. And of course, these guys are sort of inversely correlated. If Pascal Siakam's getting more points, it's likely he's getting more minutes. And since TJ McConnell is not a starter, if Siakam's getting a lot of minutes, it's likely he's getting less minutes. So that's why I like to go for this opposite direction. And if you want a bit of a visual representation, you're going to see Siakam clear this line in games 3 and 5, at least in the last 5 games. You're going to see green here and green here. Now, if we go over to McConnell, you're going to see in those specific games, so 3 and 5, he did not clear the line. The only game that they both went under together was in game 2 here. And you can see when TJ cleared his line in game 1 and 4, those were also 2 games that Siakam did not clear his line. So in the past 4 to 5 games, these guys have gone in the opposite direction. And tonight we have the perfect play because Siakam has juice towards the over and TJ has juice towards the under. So just show you on Bet365 the kind of payout we get. If we take Siakam on the over, you're going to see TJ McConnell is plus 260 if we take his over 2, but plus 210 if we take his under. The lower the plus line, the more likely it is to happen because they're basically paying us less. So just to show you, if I put $10 on this plus 210 line, I only get $31 in return. But if I put $10 on plus 260 when I'm grabbing both their overs, I get $36 in return. So in this case, they're paying me more because it's less likely to happen. So that's why I go for that opposite direction here. Now, lastly, something I haven't done on the channel, but it's another form of esports. Of course, it's COD. We're going to be going over to Gunless and grabbing his over 22.5 map 1 kills and pairing this up like we do in all other esports. In this case, it's up against Seattle and grab his over 23.5 map 1 kills. In COD, the correlation is actually map dependent and we don't really know the map until about an hour before the game. I'm not exactly sure, honestly, but I can tell you is that these guys are more likely to go in the same direction. So again, like every other sport, more or less, that's how you want to be playing COD, Valorant, and CS2. And the reason we're grabbing these specific guys, again, you always want to find value. Compared this to Underdog, he said at 23 kills on game 1 compared to 22.5, so we're getting a half a kill of value there. And Abuza is set the same on Prizepicks and Underdog. He's 23.5 on Prizepicks, 23.5 on Underdog. But because we're grabbing Gunless on Minnesota on the over, we have to take someone from the other team. And I'm pretty sure for Seattle, everything is the same compared to Underdog, so we just gotta grab a player. This is a second slip, and if you guys have not seen my Prizepicks rank video, it is the best Prizepicks video on YouTube. Please click it and watch right now.